Am I the a-hole for telling a fellow mother of a special needs child that my daughter is not responsible for her child? I have 2 children who we'll call Maria, 14F, and David, 7M. David is on the autism spectrum. He is non-vocal and requires a fair bit of specialized care. Since his birth, Maria has had to take on a partial caring role for David for a variety of reasons. I make sure that this is not to an extent where she is taking care of him, however. Just enough so that she can help out while not losing out on her own life and experiences as a child. Unfortunately, this does not always work out as intended, and sometimes Maria does have to step up when I and my husband fail. But I always make sure to make it up to her and reward her for the time she helps us out like I would a normally paid caretaker. This summer, I enrolled Maria in a summer art program. She had been looking forward to it for months and was ecstatic on the first day. This enthusiasm quickly turned sour and she stopped wanting to go after only the first 2 weeks. This was because Maria was essentially assigned to watch over a girl we'll call Helen. Helen is a girl who is also on the autism spectrum. I know Helen's mother personally, and when she learned that her daughter and mine were going to be in the same art classes over the summer, she asked the organizers personally to essentially assign Maria to be Helen's mandatory friend over the summer. Over the first 2 weeks, Maria was essentially burdened with Helen. She spent a good chunk of the class time helping Helen out with her own projects instead of being able to work on her own. She also at one point had to help one of the teachers out when Helen began to have an anxiety attack and did not get to do any art the entire day. When I learned of this, I was livid. I contacted the organizers of the art program and went off, demanding my money back and threatening to report them for having a student, and a minor at that, responsible for the care of a special needs child. They let it slip to me that Helen's mother told them that I and her were close friends, which is not the case. I called Helen's mother up as well and went off, demanding to know where she got the nerve to ruin my child's own experience and treat her like a caretaker for her own child. She claimed that Helen wanted to do the art program, but she was afraid that she would not be able to do it alone, that Maria had experience with special needs children and that she felt safe with her being next to Helen's side. She then yelled at me, called me a heartless ahole, and said that I should know where she was coming from. I got my money back Monday and am looking into private art tutoring options for Maria. When my husband learned what happened, he lost it. Said that I should be understanding of Helen's mother considering our own situation.
So now I'm second guessing myself.
Edit. Just a quick clarification. My husband is not mad at me for pulling Maria from the class or being mad about her being used as a caretaker. He agrees that was wrong and is not happy about it. What he got mad about was me calling Helen's mom and confronting her. His point of being understanding to her was not about Maria being a caretaker for Helen. It was about Helen's mom asking in the first place.
He does not agree with the way the class handled it at all, and he supports me in taking this issue all the way to the top.
What he is mad about is dropping Helen's mom in and fighting with her personally. So, for the question at hand, involving Helen, not the a-hole. You're right. Your daughter shouldn't have to look after someone if she doesn't want to. But, on that note, you said, Maria does have to step up when I and my husband fail. Do better. Because I guarantee the biggest reason she's disappointed she couldn't do the art program is that she needed a break from parenting her brother, and didn't get one. I get that you compensate her, but time is a finite resource she isn't going to get back. You are the a-hole. This reason alone is why I think original poster is the a-hole. Your 14-year-old child is not there to pick up the slack for your failed parenting. I highly doubt they're paying her as much as a trained caregiver would make to compensate for the 14-year-old time. A reward is not hourly pay for caring for someone. I'm glad ops stuck up for their child, but they're still an a-hole. Stop being cheap and hire a daycare service or caregiver to let your child have a childhood again. This is just so rose-tinted. Real life doesn't work in absolutes. You said, a child should never be responsible for care of younger siblings, just doesn't work. The correct approach is, a child should not regularly be voluntold to take responsibility for younger siblings. It is absolutely okay to pay your children for babysitting their own siblings, and it is absolutely okay to have them do it sometimes anyways. You also accused the op saying, stop being cheap and hire a daycare service or caregiver to let your child have a childhood again. Nobody said that op's daughter is caring for her brother all day or every day. This is not a job for a daycare or full-time caregiver. Absolutely not the a-hole. Tell your husband that he ought to volunteer to go supervise Helen at the art camp. Not his job? Funny he should say that. It's not your daughter's job either. He needs to check reality if he's not willing to step up himself. You can be compassionate and understanding of the shared struggles. Empathize. But it's entitled of that mother to volunteer his child to supervise. Do better, husband. Get your priorities straight.
I almost know how your child feels, and it's a burden no one should be expected to do without their willing. There was a mom down the road from my parents' place who wanted me to act as a buddy to her autistic son, about 3 years younger than me IRC, when he was planning to move to my high school. Yep, high school. I refused because that kid was clingy as hell. The mom ended up contacting the school asking them going over my head. I was very fortunate that he didn't end up going to that school. My life would have been hell. Before anyone attacks me for being ableist or whatever, I have Asperger's myself before it was called just autism. I believe that people should get help to integrate as much as possible, but only if there is an adult willing and capable to help. This is why schools have special needs teachers. My oldest is special needs, youngest isn't. They are not yet old enough to be in a situation like this, but if they were, I would be livid and react the same as you.
This was the chance for your daughter to have her own escape that she rightfully deserved. Your husband is delusional. Kids with special needs siblings need a break. Not to mention you paid for the class.
My petty butt would send the other mom a bill for the hours your daughter essentially worked. She's not free labor. I honestly feel so bad for your daughter and extremely angry at your husband and the other mom. Your reaction was correct, Don't let your daughter be used like that because she will remember. I'd be livid.
There's no excuse for what she did. She lied to the place, didn't even bother asking you. The place should have contacted you first to make sure it was okay. Your daughter didn't deserve that. She has enough on her shoulders. I really do hope you're able to give her the love and attention she needs and deserves, and don't let her sibling overshadow her.
Also, you should have plans for the future, because I really hope you don't expect her to have to take care of her sibling the rest of her life once you're gone. The only thing I don't get is why your daughter has to sometimes step up when you and your husband fail.
She's only 14. None of it is her responsibility.
You chose to have children. What exactly does she have to step up and do that you can't?
For many reasons.
You say your daughter steps in when the parents fail, and also she gets breaks like a paid caregiver would, but is she paid?
Why don't you pay someone? The reason your daughter has been put in this situation is because she's already working for you and didn't say something about this art situation sooner, because she's been trained that this is normal and she should be doing it. Obviously, this other mom is a problem because she didn't ask or bring it up or suggest it or try to find a happy medium and went behind your back. Even if that was a family member, it doesn't matter if you're close if you haven't agreed to this situation with the program owners.